Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision, pace and precision, pace and precision while handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. While I'm making decisions, God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart when I'm making decisions. Pace and precision, handling business. God in my heart while I'm making.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy CL, back for episode 3 of the EdgeWise podcast. Just want to say I appreciate everybody rocking with me, man. Just going on this adventure with me as I try to kind of maneuver and navigate my way through figuring all this, podcast world stuff out. Can't lie and sit here and say that it hasn't been a learning experience, and there's definitely been some bumps and bruises along the way. But I'm back, man. I'm here. Like I said before, I'm definitely gonna be persistent at this, and I'm definitely gonna keep just doing my best to try to bring y'all a good product that y'all can enjoy. And I'm just giving y'all my takes, man. Giving y'all my takes on what's going on out here in the sports world, and what's going on out here in the fashion and music industry, things like that. So like I said, I just appreciate all y'all taking y'all's time out of y'all's day to rock with me. I know y'all could be doing a lot of other things, and so I just appreciate it. So anyways, man, let's get right into it. Man. Let's talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. So NBA All-Star Weekend. So NBA All-Star Weekend, it's a lot different than a lot of the other sports All-Star weekends or Pro Bowls or whatever you want to call it. Like the NBA All-Star Weekend, it's truly like an event. And I'm not saying that from firsthand experience, because I've never actually experienced going to the All-Star Weekend or anything like that. But I'm just going by everything that they put out there, to kind of display the NBA product. The NBA really does an excellent job of trying to make this they try to make it like I said, a real superstar type event. And you can see it, you can see all the stars that come out, the celebrities, and even a lot of the players, you can kind of see they really truly look forward to All-Star Weekend. I mean, one, just because it's just a chance to, it's a break for them on their bodies and things like that for the most part. They're not necessarily out there going super hard or nothing like that, pause. But it just gives them opportunity, a little mini break during the season, man. Spend some time with their families, just kind of kick back and be fans of the game. Watch these young cats kind of do their thing, and I think you can see it a lot from the even going back to the Olympics, all the different years of the Olympics and things like that. A lot of these guys, these superstar players, they really enjoy getting the opportunity to play with each other, man. And kind of just really showcase what elite level talent looks like. And again, I know a lot of times they don't necessarily take it super serious or anything like that, but it is, as a fan, as a huge NBA fan, it is cool for me to be able to see these guys just kind of the way that they interact when they're not necessarily going 100 miles per hour at each other and things like that. It's just a real chill setting, chill vibe. You know what I mean? Everybody's just really kind of just taking it all in, and just really trying to enjoy things, man. So with that being said, I will say that for me, my personal experience with the NBA All-Star Weekend, and just NBA in general, man, like I said, I've been a fan my entire life for the most part. And for me, it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. Not even just All-Star Weekend, but just NBA in general, man, just because of all the, the load management and all that stuff, man, just guys not necessarily playing. I don't know, man, for me, as a consumer of the sport, and as someone that genuinely loves the game, it's hard for me a lot of times to feel like guys aren't necessarily putting forth maximum effort. But anyways, that's another story. But as far as All-Star Weekend goes, it has lost some of its juice too. I think it just got real stale. Like at some point, probably during like I'd say probably like the early to mid 2000s. I think a lot of guys that that started coming in around that time, like the LeBrons and the Dwight Howards and a lot of these like guys like that. Like I think that a lot, we're in an age right now in the NBA where a lot of guys like are like real buddy type, and that's cool, man. Like I'm glad that guys can kind of just leave it on the court, and they got relationships outside of the game and things like that. I think that's great. I think that's just that's kind of what we should look forward to as not even just as athletes, but as just people and human beings in general. Like we should all be trying to like just kind of develop those relationships and things like that outside of what we do. But I will say it definitely has been watered down a little bit because of that. I feel like guys don't necessarily compete, the way that they probably should. So it's really just kind of turned into a glorified like pickup game, not even really a pickup game, just like just I don't even really know what you would call it, but guys are just really out there just kind of just showboating. Really, it's not really any skill level or anything like that. Guys aren't necessarily playing any defense or they're just not even necessarily really just trying hard. Like again, and I get it, man, it's a long season. Some of these guys, man, like like the LeBrons and like some like the Jokic's and the Giannis's and some of these guys that like play long seasons, Tatum's and Jaylen Brown's. Like these guys got a lot of minutes that they log, not only just during the regular season but playoffs and things like that. So I get it. Like guys don't necessarily want to put forth the full effort, but I just wish that I wish that the game would be more competitive back to when I grew up, like in the in the 80s and the 90s and stuff, man. I feel like guys really I felt like guys really at least competed. I'm not saying like they was just going crazy like the whole game, but definitely like when the games were a lot closer and when they got close, like in that fourth quarter, you could see like the competitive like juice, just like everybody was like, okay, we lock it in now. Guys actually started playing defense and really trying to like attack the basket and stuff like that. So it was just different back then. But anyways, it's always about moving forward. So I'm not necessarily upset about the way it is. I just wish it was a little bit more competitive. So with that being said, I didn't really know how I was gonna feel about like the new format, having the the 4 different teams play like a semifinals game and then like obviously a finals game. I will say that I did like the format. I just don't know if I necessarily liked the matchups. And the more and more I thought about it, I understood why they kind of set up the matchups the way that they did, because it ended up working out to be the best matchup that we could have hoped for. I'm not even just talking about because those two teams advanced. That was the matchup that we could have hoped for. We obviously wanted to see like the world team go against like all the the NBA OGs or legends, so to speak. So I think at the end of the day, we got what we wanted to see. I just don't necessarily know if I like how we got there. And I will say there's a caveat to that. I will say that seeing like the G League guys and like the young players that may they may be G League or they may be two-way players or they may just be like new in the NBA, rookies or whatever the case may be. I guess I do kind of like the fact that they actually go out there with something to prove, and they was giving Steph Curry and them boys, they was giving them some work for a little bit, man. I was getting a little nervous because I'm like, man, I don't necessarily know if I want to see these young boys in the finals, but they, like I said, they definitely got something to prove. A lot of them guys, like I said, they're not in the NBA, so they're trying their hardest to showcase their talent so that they can make it to the big stage. So anyways, I kind of have mixed feelings about like I said, the initial matchups in the semifinals, but at the end of the day, we ended up getting a product that I think that was what we wanted to see, the game that we wanted to see in the finals. Now, I will say, even though there was definitely like a little bit more competitiveness this time around with this format, as far as like the championship game, it still was a little lackadaisical for my taste. You know, I feel like nowadays, like whatever, and it's probably been, my memory's not the greatest, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like it hasn't always been like this. But I feel like nowadays, like whatever city that the NBA All-Star Weekend is in, I just feel like it's just so apparent that everybody's gunning to make sure that guy from that team gets the MVP trophy. And while I'm, again, like Steph put on the show, man, he was shooting lights out. But I just don't like the preconceived, like everybody knows that this guy's getting the MVP, and it just goes back to just the competitive nature. Because if me, with my mentality, if I'm out there, you know, I'm doing my best to lock that dude up. Like, you know, that's just kind of how I am. Again, I know that this is like, you know, nobody's really like going super hard or anything like that, pause, but like, it just goes back to like the lack of competitiveness. But even with that being said, I think that this year's product was better, so I won't knock them for trying something new. I like how it turned out in the end. Glad to see that, you know, everybody escaped without any injuries or anything like that. So I would say at the end of the day, I would say it was a success, trying out this new format. I don't know if it's something that they're going to keep moving forward, but yeah, man, I think it's definitely better than what's been going on the last, you know, 10, 15 years. So I'm happy to see it. Let's talk about the 3-point shootout. I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought this was gonna be an easy win for Dame Dollar, man. You know, AKA Dame Time, man. I really thought that, especially like once I saw a lot of the early contestants, like they just weren't really posting like really huge numbers or anything like that. I think the first guy came out and got like 14, which is like extremely low, especially when you consider the fact that you got these, you know, you got these starry shots that you can shoot that are worth like, you know, and I think they're worth like 4 points, or I'm sorry, I think they're worth 3 points. And then you got, you know, you got like the money ball rack and all that. So, I mean, just 14 ain't gonna get it done. I can promise you that. Shoot, 20 might not get it done in this day and age. But just to see like a lot of the guys come out early and they weren't really lighting it up, I was just like, yeah, you could pretty much book it that Dame getting ready to win this thing. And when Dame came out, man, like he came out, I think he came out like the first rack, and I think he hit like, I think he hit a couple out that first rack, and then like kind of struggled through like the, you know, the subsequent racks, and he wasn't really knocking down like none of them was really knocking down the starry shot. But anyways, yeah, he kind of ended up struggling, man. And but yeah, at the end of the day, you know, Tyler Hero ended up taking home the dub. I thought it was a good contest between, you know, really just him and Buddy Hield. But I thought, you know, it was all right, man. Like I said, given the fact that you got all these extra ways to get points, I felt like it was kind of a letdown. I mean, I guess I'm just used to seeing like the, you know, the Steph Currys and the Larry Birds and, you know what I'm saying, guys like that was just lighting it up back in the day, man. But yeah, man, it was cool. Like I said, glad to see it. Tyler Hero, you know, congrats to you. You truly are one of those shooters. So, you know, look forward to seeing it again, seeing you, you know, compete in it again next year. As far as this dunk contest goes, Mac McClung, boy, you truly, boy, your showmanship and, you know, like your skills, man, with the dunking is, man, I can't even front. Mac McClung is that dude, boy. I don't know what his verdict is, but boy, Mac, the creativity, man, and like just to me, man, what separates Mac from all these other, like, I actually thought Stephon Castle before any of this went. I mean, if you can go back to the last episode, man, like I'm a Stephon Castle fan, bro. Like I really like him a lot. And I really thought if anybody was going to beat Mac McClung, I thought it was going to be Stephon Castle. And I actually thought Stephon Castle was going to win, just to be completely transparent. But, man, what Mac do, like, Mac put so much pressure on him. I mean, look at the first dunk he did, bro. This dude jumped over a car and slammed it backwards, clipped the car with his left foot, I believe, and, like, ended up not even sticking the landing. But the reason why he put so much pressure on you is not even just the fact that he does like these crazy dunks, because I mean he do some wild crazy dunks, man. Like I know they got a dunk coordinator now. I was kind of like, what is this? Like, people just creating jobs now. But apparently, man, like the dunk coordinator is a serious thing, because they're coming up with a lot of these ideas for some of these dunks. It's just up to these guys to execute it. But anyways, back to what I was saying, like Mac not only puts pressure on you by like the stuff that he comes up with, but bro, this dude, like, he not only does he do that, you know, but he has the showmanship, but he literally makes the dunk on the first attempt like every single time. And that's why he always gets 50s. Like, Stephon Castle had a dunk that probably should have got a 50, but it took him like 5-6 attempts to make the dunk. If he would have caught it and flushed it on the first one, no question about it, bro. It's a 50. It's a 50. But the fact that it was kind of like that Nate Robinson, this was, I think, before they had the time limit, when Nate was just burning his legs out, man. He kept throwing the damn ball from half court or whatever, man, off the backboard and trying to slam it. I know that was kind of exaggerated, but it kind of takes me back to that. But it just, like I said, it just goes to show you, like, Mac McClung is he is a real dunk contest. Like, he really takes this serious, bro, because, you know, you could just tell he preps, and he really, really, like, this is his thing, man. Like, he may not necessarily have made it, you know, like full time into the league, but he know if there's one thing that he can bank on, he know he gonna come here and put on a show when it comes to this dunk contest. So shout outs to Mac McClung, man. You are truly a beast, sir. Like, you really belong up there. And in fact, man, let's just talk about that real quick. I was on a thread with my brothers, man, and we was just basically talking about like the best dunkers of all time. And I'm not talking about like in-game dunkers. I'm just talking about purely like dunk contest dunkers. That's what I'm talking about. And so yeah, I mean, Mac is definitely up there, man. And I'm gonna go so far as to call him top 5, bro. Like, I can't even front, man. Like I said, and I know this day and age, man, I know like the creativity is through the roof. And this is my point that I want to bring up. For me, my all-time greatest dunk contest dunker is Vince Carter. He's my number one, and for me, it's not even particularly close. And the reason why I say that is because it's not that Vince Carter, it's not that his dunks were better than some of these dunks that you see nowadays. I'm not by any means am I saying that. But you got to think about the time. Like, when Vince Carter did those dunks at that time, those dunks were like dunks we'd never seen before. Like, they were crazy. And he just advanced the dunk contest that far forward. Just like if you go back to when MJ and Dominique was in dunk contest, like, they were doing dunks that, you know, we had never seen before. Even Larry Nance, like, a lot of these guys, man. So, like, if you go to Vince Carter's time, the dunks that he was doing, like, they were ridiculous dunks. You know what I mean? Like, people just, they was up off their feet, like, just in awe. Like, man, I can't believe, you know, this guy, he got the nickname Half Man, Half Amazing, you know? So, so I say that first and foremost. And then I also said that, and again, I know everybody's got their own opinion about this, man. So, and your opinion is your opinion. This is just mine. There's no dunk that these new dunkers are doing right now that I don't feel like Vince Carter, I feel like he could not do. It's just like the creativity wasn't there back then. Like, I feel like if you had that same creativity way back then, because everybody ups the ante every year, like, it's like, who can do something more wild and crazy than the last year. So I truly feel like any of these dunks that I'm talking like the Zach LaVines, I'm talking the Aaron Gordons, I'm talking the Mac McClungs, the Nate Robinsons, the Andre Iguodala, you name them, Dwight Howard. I feel like there's none of the dunks that these guys did that Vince Carter can't do. or that he couldn't do in his time. So that's why for me, Vince is number one. Like, and again, like it's not even particularly close. Number two for me is Zach LaVine, man. Like Zach's, bro. When Aaron that dunk contest, man. And by the way, that is the best dunk contest that I've ever seen in my life. I forget what year it was, but that first year when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine was going at it. This is why Zach LaVine to me is number two. Not only is he like, can that dude, like his vert got to be crazy, but then on top of that, the dude can just glide through the air like MJ. But he had the creativity, you know what I mean? Like he was like flushing it like first time every time. Like he just make it look effortless. I mean, it's just crazy to see like a slim, like kind of wiry dude like that. He just make it look effortless, man. And the reason why I really got him number two is like that. Aaron Gordon should have won that dunk contest, and I think a lot of people kind of got mixed feelings on who actually did won or who should have won or whatever the case may be. But I say Aaron Gordon should have won, but I wasn't mad that Zach LaVine won because Zach LaVine was not like he had like his dunks that he was banking on like doing out the gate. But once he seen like it got into the later rounds and they had to do extra dunks and stuff, he was like just coming up with stuff on the fly that was crazy. Like that should have been in his regular list of dunks. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude windmill from the free throw line, man. You know what I'm saying? Like who does that? Who would even attempt that? So like that to me is why like Zach's number two for me, man. Like Zach put on like I don't know if he was in a dunk contest 2 or 3 years. I think he was just those two. But he put on like an absolute show in those years that he was in there, man. And that, like I said, that Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine dunk contest, I don't think anybody's gonna ever top that dunk contest. Excuse me, I just can't see it happening. But so yeah, he number two for me. Aaron Gordon number three, and it's just for the reasons why that I just said. Like Aaron Gordon, he came to play in that dunk contest. Like he was not messing around. And he could have very easily won that dunk contest, man. I think before he did the dunks that he did in that dunk contest, I don't think the level of creativity, I think he took the level of creativity to a whole nother level. Like that stuff that he did in that dunk contest, I mean, it's not even close to any other dunk contest. It's just Zach LaVine took it to another level once he seen Aaron Gordon take it to another level. So like, but those dunks that Aaron Gordon did, man, he probably has he might have 4 of the top 10 dunks of all time in that dunk contest. And that's no cap for me. Like he might have 4 of the top 10 dunks. So he got to be number 3. For me, Matt got to be number 4, man. And it's like I said, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse with this, man. Matt, it's just everything I said, man. Like the showmanship, the creativity, flushing it on the first time. It's all of that in one, man. Mac he's definitely up there. He's definitely a beast. It's definitely the reason why, I still tune into the dunk contest because there was a couple of rough years. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was like some no-name cats in there, man. And I was just like, who is these guys, man? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of people looked at Mac like that when he first got in. I know I did. So, but he's done what he needed to do, and he ain't no name no more. So, like I said, he truly moves the needle as it relates to the dunk contest. And number 5 for me, man, this one I know a lot of people are gonna drag me for this. So get in the comments, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. I'm fully expecting people to like go crazy because it ain't MJ, it ain't Dominique. It ain't freaking Kenny Skywalker, and it ain't none of these guys that you would think. For me, I gotta go with Nate Robinson, man. Like this cat, like 5 foot, what is he, 5'9", something like that. You know what I mean? Like doing some of the most wild, crazy dunks that you can think of. And he's a 3-time champion. And he went against some pretty heavy competition. Now I will say, there's kind of an asterisk by one of those dunk contests because I definitely think Andre Iguodala got him. I just think that, maybe it was just little man, like the fact that he's a little dude, and I'm not taking nothing away from him because he definitely did his thing in that dunk contest. But I just think, for my taste, Andre was a little bit better in that dunk contest, man. But it is what it is. The record books is gonna say that, Nate's a 3-time champion, and you know, kudos to him because he definitely did his thing, man. So shout out to Nate, man. Shout out to all those guys. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Get in the comments. I want to hear everybody's like top 5. I'm just talking about dunk contest dunkers. I'm not talking about like in-game dunkers or anything like that. I'm just talking about dunk contest dunkers. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like I said, I'm gonna be super curious. I know people are gonna drag me for not having MJ in there, man, but you know, MJ the GOAT, man. So he got a lot of other things that he should be proud of. But this was a tough list, but I couldn't throw him in there. So it is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Anyways, let's talk about KD, man. KD, man, he done hit 30,000 points in his career. Only the 8th player in history to do it. Congrats to KD, man. KD is truly one of them ones, man. I know we let a lot of kind of the off the court stuff impact like what we think about KD in this new day and age with all the, you know, social media and him kind of setting up burner accounts and clapping back at all the fans and this, that, and the other thing. And I know he's kind of been like I don't want to say he's been a pariah with them media, but he's definitely kind of been one of those unique athletes, man, as it relates to like, you know, dealing with the media and stuff like that. I think he's kind of got like a love-hate relationship with them, but you can't never knock what he's done in this league, man. And from the first moment that I seen KD back at Texas, and I think back then, I think they had him listed at like 6'8", 6'9", something like that. But even with that, I'm like looking at his skill set, and, you know, just kind of like there was literally nothing that KD could do or couldn't do with the ball in his hands, man. And just to see, you know, his NBA career kind of flourish the way that it did, I'm not gonna act like it was a shock. Like I think most people could have predicted that, you know, he would have like a really great NBA career because he was just a unique type of talent, man. Like, you know, he's 6'11", 7 foot right now with crazy handles, can shoot like, you know, like nobody's business, can get to the cup, athletic, you know, everything you want, plays defense, willing passer. And the thing that I always love about KD is, and I know you hear a lot of people say this, like within, you know, sports media or social media, whatever. He truly is like one person that I would honestly say you don't have to call plays for him, man. He can play with anybody. He don't need the ball in his hands, you know, like he's not one of those guys he's not a volume scorer, anything like that. He is super efficient. He can play with pretty much anybody. And, you know, it just makes the game that much easier for him and everybody else around him. So that's one thing that I've always loved about his game, man. When you hear people say KD is truly a hooper, like he really truly lives and breathes hooping, I don't think that's an overstatement, honestly, man. I really truly think that he just loves the game that much. So to see KD get to 30,000 points, I think it's big, especially because, you know what, 4 or 5 years ago when he popped his Achilles, man, that's like the most unforgiving injury that you can have as a professional athlete. So I know a lot of people doubted, you know, that he would ever come back and, you know, be at the form that he was prior to that injury. And I was one of them because it's just never really been like a good history of people coming back from that, and especially at his level and still maintaining that level. And I think not only has he maintained it, I think he's exceeded it given the fact that he's aged, you know, over this time, obviously. So I feel like he's still been as consistent as he always is. Now, you know, it doesn't necessarily always translate to winning, and I think we've seen that from him since, you know, the time he's left Golden State, which is unfortunate because, man, I wanted to see KD really. I know that, you know, he probably left for just you know, in my opinion, stupid reasons. He kind of let like the media takes on like it, you know, never being his team in Golden State, and, you know, him not, you know, being able to lead his own team to a championship and all this stuff. I know he probably left for all of those dumb reasons, but having said that, I still wanted to see him lead a team to a championship, and he was never able to do that. So So that kind of gives me mixed feelings about what I think about him all the time. I know a lot of cats, like, right out the gate, as soon as he hit 30,000, was on this, like, top 10 stuff. And I don't normally agree with Nick Wright because I don't really like a lot of the stuff he say. But I definitely gotta agree with Nick Wright from FS1, man. These takes is getting crazy, bro. Like, they really are. Like, I don't believe KD's top 10, man. Now, that's not to say that he may not end up in the top 10, like, when it's all said and done. I don't think that he will, for me. But people are, like, such prisoners of the moment with, when somebody does something like that, historical, it's just automatically people just have these wild takes. Like, and it's really kind of blowing my mind, man, that, there's so many other players that I believe are ahead of him. And now, if you want to just talk about pure scoring standpoint, yeah, he's probably top 5 pure scorers. But if you're talking about, like, the total, like, the total package, NBA, like, I'm not ready to put him in the top 10 yet. And, like, again, I don't think that I will ever put him in the top 10. I just think that it just diminishes a lot of the things that some of the other greats have done, like, throughout the history of this game. And that's not a knock on KD, man. Like, you are clearly a top 20 player, but to say that you're top 10, I mean, that's just crazy, man. But I think it's, people should just be proud to have stamped their name, their legacy within the game. It shouldn't matter, like, where, we as just common, like, folks that just watch the game. It shouldn't matter what we think. Like, you should just be proud of, like, the accomplishments that you've done, like, on your own. It really shouldn't matter what I say or any of these talking heads say. But like I said, for me, though, just my opinion, man, I don't think he's top 10, and I'm not sure that he's going to get there. But regardless, stellar career. Truly proud of what you've done. You never cheat the game, and I just think that that's truly admirable, man. And I just, I'm just happy to see you still going with it. Anyways, man, let's talk about Kyrie, man, and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not gonna keep on hitting on the whole AD thing with him getting injured first game, but I want to talk about this game, that they played against the Warriors last week, and no AD, no Gafford, I think no PJ Washington. Obviously, they don't have any. Derek Lively's been injured for a while. And, man, Kyrie just went up. He just cooked them boys, man. He just went out there and cooked them boys for 42 points. And I just really, he's another one of them guys, man, that does not cheat the game, bro. He's just like KD. That's why I love Kyrie, man. He's one of my favorite point guards of all time. And that's aside from all, like, the flashy, you know what I mean, like the ball handling and the layup package and everything. I mean, like, he's just one of them guys that loves the game. And for me, like, that goes a long way as far as, like, the type of player that, that I truly enjoy watching, man. So Kyrie went out there, torched them boys for 42. And I think when it comes to, like, players like Steph Curry, man, I think it's like personal with Kyrie, man. Like, he really be out there trying to show these cats, like, I'm that dude. Like, I'm really that guy. Y'all need to be out here, like, taking the backseat to, what I'm able to do out here with my skill set. So I think he just takes those matchups personally, man. And it's good to see, man. I love watching him play. And, I definitely like watching him play in those matchups like that. So shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to the Mavs, because they went in the very next game and ended up beating the Miami Heat without any of their starters. And I'm just like, what is going on with the Heat, man? The Heat have not won a game since the Jimmy Butler trade. So I bring that up to say, maybe, Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler's value was a little bit more than what you thought it was. And maybe you should have just paid him, even though I think it's crazy, the $121 million. Maybe you should have just paid him, because I just think that, his leadership and his impact on the team, I think he's just one of those guys. Like I say, he's a natural leader that the other guys will follow because, he just goes out there and does what he's supposed to do. He's a hard worker, and his hard work has taken him to a point where he's peaked out, like I said before. So, I cannot overstate the importance of having a guy like that on your team. And it's, like I said, they haven't won a game since. I don't know what the rest of this season is gonna look like for them, but you can definitely tell like that trade it definitely shook that team up in a negative way. So we'll see what happens. And that brings me to my next point. So I talked about Jimmy Butler. Now I want to talk about playoff P, Paul George. Paul George had 2 points in 37 minutes the other day. A guy that's making almost $50 million this year, or he might be making $50 million this year, had 2 points in 37 minutes. This is what you signed, Philadelphia. And the reason I'm bringing him up directly after Jimmy Butler is because I got to apologize. I got to apologize because I used to have this argument all the time with my brothers. Because, like, 2 of my brothers, they kind of think a lot alike. They kind of got a lot of the same takes. And they was on this Jimmy Butler train, like, for a long time. Now, I've always been a fan of Jimmy Butler. I just don't think, like, I just never thought he was like a superstar, like a guy that was going to ever be like the number 1 option on the championship team. But that's not to take away anything that he does. I really like him, and I truly think that he's really a good player. But I will never disrespect Jimmy Butler again by comparing him to podcast P, playoff P, Paul, whatever you want to call it. I used to, like, what it was, man? Like a lot of these young cats, like, Kai and Anthony, that's like his favorite player. What's my man from Charlotte, Brandon Miller. A lot of these guys, man, they say like that's who they kind of came up modeling their game after and stuff. And I got caught up in all the like the flash. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I got caught up in the because maybe Jimmy Butler don't necessarily do it with the flair and the flash like something like a Paul George. Like the ball handling and, shooting the wild, crazy fadeaways and all this. I mean, like just trying to really be like a newer Kobe. It's just one problem, my man. You're not. I hate to tell you, you're not, man. And so I'm off the Paul George, man. Train. I can't pause. I'm off that, bro. I can't. I'm never disrespecting Jimmy Butler as it relates to Paul George again because it's not fair to Jimmy Butler. And Paul George, I'm sorry, my brother, man. Like, I like you, man. Like, you a solid player. And, to be able to come back from that gruesome injury that you came back from, many years ago, like, I think that's, commendable. But, yeah, bruh, like, 2 points ain't it, man. I know that the Philadelphia Sixers thought that they was getting, the third, superstar on their team, man, to go with Maxey and Joel Embiid, which Joel Embiid, that's a whole nother story I'm not going to get into. But y'all just really disappointing this year, man. I feel bad the most for Tyrese Maxey. I wish he was not on that team. I'm not even going to front, man. Like, Tyrese Maxey go out there and ball every single game, bro. Night in, night out, that dude balls. And it just sucks that he got to be dragged down by 2 guys that's injured all the time, and you, Paul George, who's just not living up to what everybody thinks your potential is. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate, and it sucks for Tyrese, man. And I hope y'all get it together, just because I think if y'all do, y'all could be a really competitive team. Y'all make it to the playoffs, but I just don't see it happening. So, anyways, man, I gotta talk about my Pistons, man. Y'all know it ain't gonna be a show if I don't talk about one of my Detroit teams or my Michigan teams in general, man. But again, man, I just want to. My boys have been winning. We on a little win streak right now. I think we won like 3-4 games in a row. Cade obviously balling, all-star, the whole 9. And I know these teams that we beat, and they haven't necessarily been world beater teams. But that's what you're supposed to do. Like when you're, just any team in general, but especially when you're a team that's on the come up and you're trying to establish yourself as, like one of those teams for the future, you gotta beat up on the bad teams. and you just got to be competitive against the good teams. And hopefully you win, most of the games against the bad teams, and you hopefully split against some of the good teams. And I feel like, we're not necessarily splitting against the good teams right now. We have won against some good teams, but we're winning those games against those bad teams, and that's the formula to become a better team and to make the playoffs and just kind of grow and just just excel. So I mean, I'm really happy with the direction that we headed. I'm super excited about the future for us. I thought we were going to make a trade at the trade deadline, but we ended up picking up Dennis Schroeder, so that was big. I think we needed a veteran like that on our squad, especially since Jay Ivy's down. So I'm just happy. I'm happy about my boys, man. Y'all boys keep it up. Y'all are putting a product out there now that I'm happy to watch again. So just keep it going, man. Let's see if we can make a little playoff push and hopefully get into the playoffs and make some noise there. But at any rate, man, I'm as proud as I could be. I feel like y'all are ahead of schedule, so just keep it up. All right, y'all, with that being said, we're going to take a real quick break. Holla at y'all in just a minute. Y'all, we back. That ad that y'all watched, man, that was actually my homeboy, man. That's my boy Brad Beats. This guy right here, man, I've known him for probably about 9 or 10 years, something like that. The thing that the thing that I really like about him, man, is like me and him share like the same mentality, man. He's really truly one of these guys that just willing to do whatever it takes to get out here and be successful, man, and just excel at life and excel, financially. And he's truly has like that hustler's mentality. So, this is his watch brand, Frostbitten, man. I really hope that y'all can get out there and support, because he's doing his thing, man. And I couldn't be prouder of him, man. Truly my brother, man. So y'all support him. And a matter of fact, I really think that I think that the watch collection might actually be on sale right now. He might have a sale going on. So so y'all check it out, man. Get on the website, man. Support. And it's a beautiful watch. Like I said, man, truly proud of him, man. So support him if y'all get an opportunity to do so. Anyways, man, let's talk about women's college basketball, man. So I had an opportunity. I was like looking forward to this game. Like I was looking forward to this game a lot, man. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watched every single female college basketball game, but I don't watch every men's college basketball game, man. I really don't. I watch the ones that are the ones that have like a big impact, like the ranked teams versus each other, or just matchups that I want to see, players that I want to see. Just like most casual fans, that's what I do. And I cannot tell you, man, how excited I was to see this USC versus UCLA, man. Juju Watkins, I really wanted to see her, man, like kind of do her thing against Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice and UCLA. So this matchup did not disappoint at all, man. I'm not gonna lie, like UCLA came into it undefeated. USC obviously has a couple of losses on the season. I thought, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't necessarily think that USC's team is like super great. I feel like they have a couple of good players. Like obviously Juju's like on another level. But I think as a whole, like UCLA's team, top to bottom, is there's a reason why they were undefeated going into this game, because they have a top to bottom roster that is really good. And that's not to say that USC doesn't have a good roster. You can't be 22-2 or 20 whatever it is, 23-2 like they are without having having good players. I just think that UCLA, I just think that they have probably the best roster, top to bottom roster. I'm not saying that they're the best team. I think that they have the best roster. So to see this game, it kind of went in a lot of ways like I thought it was going to. I knew Juju was going to come out, and I knew she was going to try to set the tone, let them know right out the gate that I'm that one. You know what I'm saying? And she did. She came out, she took a couple of shots, knocked down a three-pointer early, kind of got her going. And it was kind of one of those back and forth type games, pretty much the entire game, close fought game. At the end of the day, Juju was just too much for him, man. She ended up scoring 37 points. And what I like about Juju, man, I made this comparison before, and I really feel like it's a fair assessment, man. Juju reminds me, if I'm speaking in terms of like the men's, the men's players, she reminds me of a cross between Kobe Bryant and Glenn Big Dog Robinson. And she just kind of has like that. She's kind of got that strong build, like a and I don't want to compare a female to a man, but I'm just talking about the style in which she plays. She kind of bullies like the players out there, like especially like the smaller players, like a big dog. But she got the whole flair in like the game, like a Kobe Bryant, like I said. So it's really like a cross between those two. And I just like the way she played. Now, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like sometimes she got to do a lot more than what she does. So she presses a lot, and that could just be because like I said, I don't think that team top to bottom is like a super great team. But she just got that dog in her, man. And you need somebody like that, because sometimes a player like that can will you to victories. Excuse me. So you need that. You need somebody that got that dog in her like that, and that just has her skill set. So I really like Juju's game a lot, man. She's definitely a top 3 women's NCAA player right now. But she's not my favorite, man. She's not my favorite. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, the team that I like to win it all, the player that I enjoy watching the most is I like Hannah Hidalgo, man. I like Hannah, man. Everything about her, man. She's tough. She's not the biggest player. I think she only like 5'7", something like that. But boy, Hannah be out there cooking, boy. I mean, like, she get buckets. She ain't afraid to go to the cup, amongst the giants. She can pass like nobody's business. Like Hannah nice, man. She dumb nice. And like her team, this Notre Dame team, man, I don't really see anybody beating them when it comes tournament time. Now I could be wrong. I mean, obviously, like it's, if I'm going Notre Dame versus the field, like obviously there's a lot of opportunity for them to lose. But I'm just looking at the teams that they have beaten throughout the season. Let's talk about it. So they beat number 21 Cal. This was earlier in the season. They beat number 17 Georgia Tech. They beat number 17 North Carolina. They beat number 2 UConn. And they beat number 4 Texas. And they beat the team that we just talked about, number 3 USC. And their only 2 losses came against Utah, who at the time people probably would have thought it was a bad loss, but that team is now like 18-5, 19-5, something like that. So they're probably going to more than likely they're making the tournament. And they also lost to, I believe they lost to TCU. Yeah, they lost to TCU, which is obviously a top-ranked team right now. So that Notre Dame women's team, man, I think they loaded from top to bottom. Great guard play. They just Olivia Miles, Sonia Citron, obviously Hannah Hidalgo. They just got a really good team, and I think that they have everything that it takes to show up and show out when it comes tournament time. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, man. I think that, you know, this women's game is really taking a lot of steps forward. I think they're starting to get a lot more fans, and it could be like the Caitlin Clark effect and the, you know, the Angel Reese effect. But regardless, man, I'm happy to see it. I'm all about supporting all sports. So regardless of who it is or what gender it is, like if it's good gameplay, then that's what I want to see. So so I'm looking forward to March Madness when it comes to the ladies side, almost as much, if not more, than what I'm looking for the men's side. So we'll see what happens with my prediction as far as Notre Dame goes, but we'll revisit that in a couple of weeks. We'll see what's going on. But I also want to talk about my Michigan Wolverines. I just want to talk about them real quick. Man, they beat up on Ohio State again. What else is new? Man, OSU, man, can y'all beat us at anything, man? Like, can y'all beat us at, like, field hockey? Man, what y'all might have to switch it up, man. Maybe y'all might be able to beat us at, like, maybe y'all could beat us at, like, synchronized swimming or something like that, you know. But, no, I'm just joking, man. I'm messing with y'all OSU fans. Y'all did get a natty in football, man, so I'm just giving y'all a hard time, man. But this was actually a really good game, and it came down to the wire. I'm not gonna lie, like I really thought y'all had our number, just because it was kind of a back and forth game. We would get like a 6-8 point lead or whatever. Y'all would come back. Y'all would take like a little lead for a minute. I mean, we had the lead the majority of the game, but when it got down to the end, you know, I just felt like what's my man's name? Thornton, the guard Thornton. I just felt like he was just bullying our guards, getting to the cup, shooting these little floaters, man, and he was just, you know, his game was just money. You know what I'm saying? So like, it shocked the hell out of me, man, on that last play where he ended up getting a switch. He ended up getting our big guy on him, Danny Wolf, and Danny Wolf actually falls down, and Thornton has like a wide open floater that he's been making all night, like literally not a person in between him and the basket. And this dude airballs this floater. And I was just like, man, you want to talk about breathing a sigh of relief? Because that, you know, like I said, that game could have went either way. It was a close game, and to see him, you know, to see my man fall and Thornton had that wide open floater, I was just like, I mean, it would have just pushed the game into overtime, but still, you know, when you're on the road, man, you don't necessarily want to go to overtime, because a lot of times, you know, the home team ends up gaining that momentum when it comes to overtime. And so I didn't want to see it go to overtime. I just wanted us to, you know, finish it in regulation, which we did, and I'm happy about it. But I got to be honest, man, like it's been a couple of dark years for my Wolverines, man, with, you know, Jawan again. Jawan, man, I love you, brother. I've been watching you since the Fab 5 days. I really, truly wanted to see you succeed as a former Wolverines player. To come back and coach your alma mater, I just really wanted to see you succeed, man. And you had a couple of good years in the beginning. I just think it kind of all went downhill from, you know, the whole incident with the putting your hands on the coach from Wisconsin or whatever. But again, like at this point, man, it's over and done with. I really truly like the product that's being put out there right now. We did a great job with the transfer portal and bringing some guys in. I mean, this Danny Wolf guy, man, he truly looks like, this dude reminds me of, and I know the guys said it on the call during that game. They said it reminded them of Dirk Nowitzki, which he does. But to me, I think he's a cross between, it's two Germans actually, a former Wolverine and Dirk Nowitzki. I think he reminds me of a cross between Dirk Nowitzki and Franz Wagner. I think the way he like takes like the big steps and kind of glides to the basket like a Franz Wagner, the way he can put the ball on the deck like Franz, but he also got the little 1 foot, you know, like fadeaways and stuff like that, like Dirk. So he shocked me this year, man. I didn't know really anything about him prior to this season. Like I said, like I'm a casual men's college basketball fan, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I watch every single game. So I didn't really know much about him going into this season, but he's a player, man. I really like him a lot. I think he's probably our best all-around player. Excuse me. I really do like our guard play. And I think when it comes to tournament time, in both men's and women's, I think guard play ultimately is what determines like who ends up cutting down the nets. So I really do like our guard play. I think our guards, when they're on, like they can pretty much play with any of these other guards in the country. So, but yeah, I'm proud of them, man. I'm proud that they've made this huge turnaround. I think they're saying this is the biggest turnaround in Michigan Wolverines history, or the fastest turnaround or something like that. So definitely proud of them, man. I think, you know, the sky's the limit for the squad. And I'm looking forward to see what they do, you know, come tourney time. All right. I want to talk about, let's talk about Keyshawn Davis versus Dennis Berenchenk. Not gonna lie, man, I didn't really know a whole lot about Keyshawn Davis prior to this fight. One of my little homies, man, actually one of my good friends' son that I've known since he was like a baby. Well, he's now obviously like an adult, and he actually put me on to this guy, man. And he told me, he said, man, he's fighting this weekend. He's the new up and comer. Look out for him, da 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 da. So I said, all right, I'm gonna definitely check him out. And I really liked him, man. I could definitely tell. I can definitely tell that he is a skilled boxer. And although the fight to me was a little sloppy, I'm not gonna lie, it was, you know, a lot of holding. I just felt like there was never really like a good flow to the fight. But man, did he catch him with 2 body blows that, man, he sat that boy down with them body blows. I can't even lie. Caught him right up there in the ribs with the body blow. Kidney shot. Man, that second one ultimately sat him down, and it didn't, I'm not gonna lie, man, like it didn't look like that vicious when I was watching it in real time. Obviously when they show the replay, like, you know, you can see he caught him clean. So I mean, he definitely hit him with a good shot, but it didn't, like I said, in real time, it didn't look like enough to like actually shut him down completely. But man, them body blows start to take a toll on you after a while, man. Everybody think going for the head, you know, pause is like the way to go. But them body blows, man, they'll wear you down quicker than them, you know, if you can take a punch to the face, you know, them body blows will wear you down a lot quicker than punching somebody in the face. So, yeah, and that's what we found out with this fight. I think my man kind of, Dennis Berenchenk, he kind of had like a little weird style too. Like he was real like kind of bouncy and wiry and stuff. I think he was trying to throw Davis off a little bit. But yeah, man, ultimately Davis figured him out. Like I said, caught him with the body blows and, you know, just ended the fight. So I am looking forward to, I will definitely be keeping my eyes on him moving forward. I want to see if anything shakes out of this whole Tank Davis versus, you know, Shakur Stevenson thing. But I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes out for Davis as well, man. I think he's got a promising career. He definitely has all the tools that it takes to be successful in this boxing game. So I'm looking forward to it, man. So we'll see how it goes. Now let's talk just a little bit of NFL. I don't want to go too much into this NFL thing. Just because there's not really a whole lot going on right now. But I do want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about, first and foremost, I want to talk about this Cam Newton thing, man. So I don't know if y'all been paying attention or watching what's been going on with Cam Newton, but he was on Travis Hunter's podcast last week, and he essentially said that before he got to the Carolina Panthers, that the Carolina Panthers roster was a team full of losers. And that obviously rubbed some people the wrong way, particularly one Steve Smith Sr., man. Steve Smith Sr. did not like what Cam had to say about them. And I'm actually going to read this quote, a couple of quotes that Steve Smith said. So the first quote is, 53-man locker room, -1 equals 52 losers. Wow. Breaking news to 89. So Steve Smith definitely took exception to the fact that he was included in this team full of losers. And, he has something to say about it, man. And Steve Smith, by by any account, was not a loser. Steve Smith was that dude. And Cam, man, I don't, you do your thing with these podcasts and on ESPN and all that, man. And sometimes I think you kind of got some wild takes. I don't necessarily think this is a wild take, but I just think it's something that you just don't say, man. Like, you cannot call a team full of grown men that you played alongside, regardless if it was the year before or not. You cannot call these guys losers, bro. Now, I know you walked it back a little bit later. We'll get into that, but yeah, you cannot do that, man, because people definitely the real ones is definitely gonna check you on it, bro. Like, they definitely gonna check you on it. So I don't care how you meant it for it to sound. The way it came out was exactly how it sounded. Came out like you called all those guys a bunch of losers, like you was like the god coming in. And yes, you did come in and you lit it up and you had a great rookie season and all that. I'm giving you huge props. You was one of them. You was one of them ones. But even with that being said, bro, the last I checked, football is not no one-man show. Football take all 53. So I had a problem with the take myself. Steve Smith then goes on to say, I've watched and listened to you from afar as at Cameron Newton talk about at Panthers. None of us are perfect. Yes, we were 2-14 before you blessed us with your presence. The way you have talked about at Panthers lately, I'm very disappointed. I wish you nothing but the very best. I'm done. So yeah, man, Steve had every right to be upset about this, and I agree with him, man. I just feel like you just can't talk about a group of grown men like that. And then Cam obviously comes out to say, because the whole way that this got started was Cam was basically talking to Travis Hunter about how Cam's impact was way more, he had way bigger impact as a quarterback than Travis Hunter could ever have at wide receiver or at cornerback. So that was kind of like what got them on this whole topic. So Cam basically says you could potentially be the first pick, but bro, you have no way of impacting the game the way a quarterback does. Newton said on the podcast, you can lock down the number one receiver, you can make impact plays on offense all you want, but it's still not like a quarterback. My issue is that when I was the first pick, I went into a locker room full of losers, just honest. Guys didn't know how to win. Guys didn't know how to prepare. They didn't take themselves serious to realize we were 2-14. There was a lot of 2-14 in the mentality of those guys. He then turns around after Steve Smith's comments, and he doesn't even necessarily walk it back. I mean, he walks it back a little bit, but he really doesn't apologize or walk it back. He says, I'm not specifically talking about those guys, Newton said on his podcast. I'm talking about the culture that was there prior to me coming in the locker room, and it was a loser's mentality. So if he had said, if he had said that there was a loser's mentality, like right out the gate, I don't think that Steve Smith and some of the other guys, maybe they would have had as much issue with, what he said, what he ultimately said, and he basically, when he called them losers. So if he would have just said that from the beginning, I don't think that there would have been a lot of pushback. But the fact that he called, like I said, a 53-man roster, a team full of losers, I mean, it's just hard to come back from that. So, so I think Steve Smith is absolutely right in this case. And, Cam, man, like I said, man, I really enjoy you, man. I enjoy watching you throughout your career. But this is definitely one I can't agree with you on. So I feel like, you definitely need to, I think you definitely need to apologize to those guys, man. And, because, yeah, like I said, while you did come in and you did provide this spark that they needed, man, you were electric right out the gate. It takes all 53. So I'm going to leave that at that. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about, we're gonna get into some music today, man. We're gonna get into some music. I want to take y'all back, man. First and foremost, this duo or this group that I want to talk about today, this is without a doubt my favorite this is my favorite group, hip hop group, rap group, whatever you want to call it, all time, man. My older brother put me on to them on their first album, and I just been rocking with them ever since, man. And so without further ado, man, I want to talk about OutKast, man, my favorite group of all time. And I want to specifically talk about the ATLiens album. ATL Shouty. I want to talk about ATLiens, man. For those of y'all hip hop heads out there, man, that's like, you know, that's from my generation, man, or even, you know, from other generations. I mean, that's one thing that I've always loved about OutKast is like they've spanned generations. Like even my son, who's half my age, is an OutKast fan because they made music that was timeless, and it just resonated. Excuse me, it just resonated with a lot of different eras, a lot of different generations. So I really am excited to talk about this album, man, ATLiens. So, ATLiens, man, this album dropped in 1996, man. That was the year I graduated. Shut up, I know y'all about to be talking about how old I am, man, and it's all good, man. Your boy 46, man. I'm happy to have made it to be 46, and I'm happy to be, you know, sitting here right now talking about what I'm talking about and doing what I'm doing, man, because life is good. But yeah, this album dropped in 96. I'll never forget it, man. Elevators dropped. Boy, oh boy, man. Elevators, boy, when that single dropped, bro, I remember exactly like what I was doing. Like it was like summertime, and I graduated high school. And I'm gonna throw some names out here, man. I'm gonna throw. I was with my cousin Ronnie, who is the same age as me. We both graduated the same year, and I was with my cousin Dwayne, who's older than us. Dwayne's like 4 years older than us, and Dwayne, God bless the dead, Dwayne passed away several years ago, but Dwayne was he was a bigger guy, man, and I mean, he was a really big guy, and but he used to have this white Dodge Neon because his pops used to work at Chrysler, and so he copped a Neon, man, which was if you know Dwayne and you know how big of a guy he was, man, it was like the last car that he needed to be driving in. But hey, it was brand new. We didn't have a car, you know what I'm saying? And he would like pick us up sometimes, man. And we would just ride around, man. And I remember Dwayne was somebody I looked up to, not to get too far off topic, but he was somebody I looked up to, man, because he was kind of a spoiled kid. Like he had like everything that you could possibly want. As far as like when we was like little, like he had all the toys that you wanted, like all the Transformers, all the G.I. Joes, like all the stuff that you wanted. And you know, we didn't necessarily have all that stuff. You know, my parents did the best that they could, and we definitely had a couple of real nice Christmases and stuff like that. But and they definitely did what they could to make it work. So I love my parents for that. But Dwayne was just one of them dudes I kind of envied growing up. And once he got the Neon, man, and he had the beats in there, I remember him. It was me, him, and my cousin Ronnie, man. I remember him bumping that OutKast ATL. I remember specifically him bumping that Elevators, man. And he had a nice little system in his car. Man, that OutKast was banging, bro. Oh my God, that OutKast was banging, man. And we would, like I said, man, we would just cruise. We would cruise around the little city right inside Detroit, Hamtramck, which is basically where I grew up at. So yeah, we would cruise around there, man, and sometimes like cruise like downtown and stuff like that. And I just remember, man, like listening to that ATLiens, and I remember thinking to myself, first and foremost, this album is super dope. You know what I'm saying? This album crazy. And I remember thinking how much they changed, like how much they advanced from like Southern Playalistic to this album. Like it was just like, a lot of times it's hard to like to outdo your first album, especially when your first album was a classic. I mean, like super playthrough album, man. You wasn't skipping nothing, unless you just one of them people that don't like skits or whatever, man, or whatever the case may be. But like, yeah, man, like I just feel like it's always hard to top your first album when you when you got an album that dope. And they did, man. And I actually think it came out to like, I don't want to say like it came out to like, a lot of, it definitely didn't come out to criticism, but I think when it first came out, I think a lot of people said that, that Southern Playalistic is better. And some people might say that even to this day. But, and I'll be honest with you, I think, during that time, I thought Southern Playalistic was better as well. But it was just, I was familiar with that. I listened to that album, I don't know how many times. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to like listen to ATLiens like multiple times over and over again. This is just that's how my brain works. Like I have to really, because a lot of times that first time you listen to it, like you're not necessarily listening to the words like right out the gate. You kind of catching the beats, you know what I mean? And you'll catch like little catchphrases here and there, but you're not really in tune to like the word. At least for me, I can't speak for everybody else. So like, that first couple of go rounds, man, like I'm trying to just like hone in like the beats and like, like just kind of seeing what's catchy and what I really like. But as you listen to it, more and more, you really start to appreciate, what these brothers did on that album. And like I said, they definitely like had gotten better from album 1 to album 2. And specifically, man, this is where, and I don't want to slight Big Boy by any means. I don't want to slight him at all, bro, because he is dope. And even if you divide the two of them, bro, he's still one of my favorite rappers. Like I hate when people try to slight him and make it seem like he was just like a sidekick of Andre 3000, because that could not be further from the truth, man. Big Boy held his own on every single song that they ever did together. But I will say, this is the place on this album where you could see Andre 3000 really, in my opinion, take his game to a whole nother level, man. He was just coming with it, bro. Bars for days, metaphors. Andre 3000 to me, man, he's one of the most clever rappers that I've ever heard, like with like the metaphors and stuff. Like he just says things that like the average mind like wouldn't think to say, man. And I know that's probably low hanging fruit. That's why he's as dope as he is. But like just hearing him on that ATLiens, man, I was just like, he just like super catapulted to like my top 10 at that particular point. I'm not gonna say he was top 5, because back then there was a lot of artists that I was just bumping heavy, that I like from like years and years back that I couldn't put him over at that particular time. But like he definitely catapulted to the top 10, like without question. And I just remember like that summer, hanging out with my cousins, bumping it during the summer. And then like not too long after, in the wintertime, I ended up going to the military. And when I was in tech school down in San Angelo, Texas, man, I had a lot of friends like from all over the place, and a lot of them was from down south. So they was just really on the OutKast train heavy. And I just remember being at like the, like the all-nighters or not the all-nighters, but like the, they were called all-nighters. But it was basically like at like the NCO clubs or the enlisted clubs and stuff on base. Like you would get like these little, every like once a month or something, you get like a little all-nighter where it was basically like you can hang out, do your thing, if you was of age, you could drink, dance, party, whatever. And I just remember them banging like the OutKast, man. Like I remember them banging the Jazzy Bell. I remember them banging the, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp, everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah. I mean, it was, man, bro, that OutKast, man, that ATLiens, man, just looking at this track list right now, man, like it just takes me back, man. It really does. Like there were so many bangers on this album that, and what I always like about OutKast, man, is like they always it's not even just like the, like obviously like they make music, man, that's soulful. They make music that's, that's got the, the little bumpsty bumps to it, got the beats. they obviously kicking, you know, they obviously super dope with the lyrics, but they also, what I like about them is there's always like, you know, some messages within their rap, man. Whether it's in the rap or whether it's like Big Rube, you know, like with the message at the end or something like that. I feel like they're super dope, like conscious rappers, man, and that's something that I can appreciate, man. Like not everybody raps on that same format, or you know what I mean, like, and that's fine. Like everybody's different, man. Everybody has their own style. That's what makes them unique, and that's cool. But that's one thing that I always have appreciated about OutKast, man, is just the wisdom in which they impart upon you, and you know, mixed in with the super dope beats and the super dope lyrics, and just, you know, for me, man, OutKast has and they've been my favorite rap group probably for 20 years, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like they've for me, like they're just it, man. So and you know, I want to hear y'all's take though, man. I really want to hear y'all. Let me know, man. Get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the OutKast ATLiens album. Let me know what y'all think about, you know, as far as like who are some of y'all's favorite rap groups and stuff like that. Let me know if there's any songs on the album that stands out to y'all, man. Like where was y'all at when this album came out? Like what was everybody bumping when y'all was first listening to this OutKast ATLiens album? Like what was the tracks that y'all really loved? Like I said, I got a bunch of them. But like just to me, this album as a whole was just like, it was super dope. I'm not saying this was their best album. It is one of their best albums, but all their albums are dope to me. So, but this is just the one that, for whatever reason, man, this is the one that was on my mind to be a part of, like, you know, this first segment in which I talked about like this music, you know, time machine. This is the one that came to my mind. So y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the OutKast ATLiens album, and take it back, man. Y'all bump that, man. Y'all get on that ATLiens, man, and just, you know, take yourselves back. Excuse me. Like I said, I just want to hear what everybody got to say, man, because I'm just one man with one opinion. But like I said, I love this music. I love this hip hop, and you know, I love OutKast. So with that being said, that's gonna be the end of the show for today. Once again, I cannot stress enough how much I appreciate everybody rocking with me, man. All the likes, all the comments, all the views. Hopefully I can get some more subscribers and, you know, just really get y'all in tune. I'm really gonna continue to try to add some more segments that are not all necessarily just talking about sports, because I know that can get tired after a while. But yeah, that's why we brought the music segment in today, and I'm looking forward to bringing in some other segments. So y'all get in the comments, man. Like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. I cannot wait to hear from y'all. But until the next time, I'll holla at y'all. Peace.
Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision while handling business. Pace and precision. Pace and precision. Pace and precision while handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision. Handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions. Pace and precision. Handling business. God in my heart while I'm making decisions.